say. Did you know he was my brother? We had different mothers. I was my older brother.
So John is my old from my grandmother.
Dated February 23rd, 2023, 3:30. Is now called to order. Mr. Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Hopkins.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Jackson. Commissioner Young.
Here.
Commissioner Burrell.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
Present.
Commissioner Cothran.
Here.
Commissioner Atkins.
Here.
Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Lazarus.
Here.
And Commissioner Epperson.
Present.
All right, you have 10 of 12 committee members present. That does constitute or 10 of 12 commission members present. That does constitute a quorum.
Okay. I have a special guest here today. I want to do an invocation for us, and that's Pastor Craig Collier. If you would come up and do a word of invocation for us, the newly installed pastor for Galilee Baptist Church. Please stand.
God, how blessed we are to have this privilege to call on your name. God, as we come to this time of meeting, we pray, God, for those who are leading this time. We pray for those who have come. And we ask, God, that you would give direction, that you would give clarity. Pray, God, that all that's done today will be pleasing in your sight. And it's in your Son's name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We will have our Pledge of Allegiance from Commissioner John Paul Young.
Face the flag, render the appropriate salute for you, and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Collier and Commissioner John Paul Young. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, now we are at the section of agenda additions. I'm not aware of any agenda additions unless you have any today, Mr. President? Okay.
No. I'm sorry.
I have one.
Commissioner Johnson?
It's basically to do a special resolution recognizing the deltas that will be coming into Shreveport this weekend for the Louisiana-Jamaica Convention, and just giving them a special resolution on that.
Okay, it's been, been moved. She said she seconded. Okay. So there's
I made
a
the motion.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I made the
Motion
motion.
and
Someone
second.
said.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Johnson and seconded by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts for the resolution for the deltas this weekend. We can vote now? Oh. I believe we need to open it for a public hearing. Okay, the floor is open for a public hearing. All those in favor of this resolution can come up and speak, and those that oppose the same. I see no one, so the public hearing is closed. Now we can vote on it. You vote, please.
All right, that motion, I'm sorry, it does pass, but our system for some reason, so if anybody is watching and looking at the vote casting system, this motion does carry. For some reason, despite having the correct vote down, the system is saying that it failed, but that is incorrect. It does carry. And so this item, this special resolution will be added as 8.7 on your agenda.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, that brings us now to citizens' comments, where citizens who'd like to address the commission on any issue other than zoning are asked to fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return those cards. To my left here is a basket. They can be returned. Those cards that have already been received have been shared with the president, so you'll be called, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. I know that we've received at least one request.
I do have one request to speak from a citizen, Mr. David Hackney. If you would come forward, please. You would speak on Tim James, Inc. State your name for the record, please.
Sorry?
State your name for the record, please.
My name's David Hackney, and I'm a resident of Shreveport, a homeowner in the Esplanade subdivision in the southern part of the city. I'm a retired petroleum engineer, having worked 39 years for Chevron all over the world. I'm also a registered professional engineer in the state of Louisiana. I'm here today to make some comments regarding the Tim James Road and Toll Bridge project. But first, I'd like to publicly thank Commissioner John Atkins for quickly and dependably replying to several email requests I've made over the last several months. I do appreciate the response. More recently, and I hope I pronounce your name correctly, I sent an email to Commissioner Ron Cothran, and he too quickly responded with some information. Thank you, sir. In early 2022, Caddo Parish Commission entered into a cooperative endeavor agreement with Tim James. Twice I've requested a copy of that agreement with all the exhibits, A, B, and C. Twice I've received a document that looks more like a draft copy and only Exhibit A. Exhibit A is a large-scale map of the proposed road and bridge location. The CEA appears to have an error in the title of the document, along with several blanks that haven't been filled in. I've never received or seen Exhibit B or C. Since the CEA and the ordinance was approved in early 2022, I'm asking what activities has the parish participated in the cooperative endeavor? Who is the lead person in the parish regarding this project? What documentation exists, such as meeting minutes, records of decisions, maps, etc.? I'm asking today that both parties in the CEA be a bit more transparent. I read the minutes to a recent Shreveport City Council meeting where the attorney for Tim James stated that he had engaged most of the homeowners association. They have not met with the Esplanade homeowners. I think most people are supportive of this bridge. My concern has always been the roadway on the Caddo side. Tim James has purchased lots in my subdivision. These are residential lots for the stated purpose to build his Red River Expressway. I don't think that's right. The CEA states that the roadway that Tim James intends to build is entirely on private land. From my review of the Caddo tax assessor plats, it appears to me that Caddo levy district land will be crossed just north of the Esplanade lots along Bayou Pier.
Mr. Hagney, your time.
Okay.
I need a motion to extend your time. Okay,
10 seconds is all.
Okay.
I'm almost done.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Moved and second, we do it by unanimous vote. Okay.
Okay. So the proposed roadway goes across Caddo levy district land. And I'm assuming that Caddo levy district land is not private land. Therefore, the road is not, the proposed road as per Exhibit A is not entirely on private land. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hagney. There appears to be no other citizen comment.
We've not received any other forms or requests.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, that brings us to visitors, where we do have one scheduled visitor today. Today we have the Caddo Community Action Agency, who is here with us. If they would like to make their way up to the podium, you should, at your stations, have a copy of their annual report that's been distributed.
Okay, Commissioner Epperson.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to move 8.2 up with 6.1. If I can get a second?
Second.
Okay, my reason being, we have some parents and some children in the audience, and we didn't want to keep them too long, and I figured we could congest all that within that area.
Okay, it's been moved and second. I didn't see the motion. Moved by Commissioner Epperson and seconded by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts to move this. We can do that by unanimous vote. Okay. All right, Mr. Epperson.
Okay.
At this time, Mr. Chairman, if you would read a special resolution declaring Early Head Start Month, and then after that, Caddo Community Action Agency come up and make their presentation.
Okay, so this is a proclamation for Early Education Month, and it reads, whereas February, would you like to stand?
Yeah, you stand, please.
It reads, whereas February is designated as Early Education Month, an initiative to educate local and national policymakers, business leaders, parents, and advocates on the need for robust investments in high-quality early care and education to support a strong workforce and economy in Louisiana. And whereas the Louisiana Policy Institute for Children created the initiative and Governor John Bell Edwards declared February 2022 as the inaugural Early Education Month in Louisiana. And whereas the second annual Early Education Month, in partnership with United Ways across the states, features events meant to highlight the challenges faced in the area by providing regional tours of child care centers across the state to show how families and child care providers are disproportionately impacted. A keynote address from Dr. Dana Suskin of the University of Chicago's Center for Early Learning and Public Health. The results of the 2022 parent poll will be presented on February 14th. A social media day of action occurred on February 16th. A virtual parent advocacy lunch and learn occurred just today on February 23rd, and it was co-hosted by the Power Coalition. A child care and the economy business breakfast with the Louisiana Association for Business of Industry. The lobby breakfast is hosted tomorrow, February 24th, and more events. Whereas 57% of the Louisiana children, whereas 57% of Louisiana children live in households where parents are struggling to make ends meet. Studies show that childcare is the most expensive item in a family's budget, and providing this results in foregoing other necessities or accruing debt. and a full 2/3 of Louisiana families with children under 4 have both parents or their single parent in the workforce and require significant amounts of child care. Whereas the Caddo Parish has contributed to the early education needs in a variety of ways, from our longstanding partnership with Caddo Community Action Agency and their Head Start program, to our support of the Community Foundation of Northwest Louisiana's initiative to provide child care scholarships, to supporting the United Way of Northwest Louisiana's advocacy efforts and ALICE study, to name a few. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission that it does hereby proclaim February 2023 as Early Education Month in Caddo Parish, Louisiana, and encourages all citizens to learn more about and advocate for improvements in early childhood education and child care. And that's signed members of the Caddo Parish Commission, President Roy Burrell, Vice President John Paul Young, and the District Representative Kenneth Epperson.
Move for adoption, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Epperson and seconded by Commissioner Atkins. All right. Want to vote on that? Okay. Mr. Clerk, will you vote? Vote, please.
It passes, Mr. Chairman. If I might, could I ask Mr. Bradley
Wait
to
for
come
the
forward?
Secretary to announce it.
That motion does carry, by the way. It was is adopted with tenant support, none in opposition.
Okay.
At this time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask Mr. Bradley, the Head Start Director of CCA, to come up, make his presentation.
Okay, Mr. Bradley.
Actually, Mr. Gibbon, come up first. Whomever you'd like, however you'd like.
Welcome, Mr. Guidry, a long time friend.
Good
I didn't know you were
afternoon,
still around here.
Lawrence Guidry with the Caddo Community Action Agency. First, I want to thank the commission for allowing us to participate and to run the Head Start program. It is very, very important that you all know that it is a commission program that we run for you, and we want to do it in a way that's conducive with good management and what have you. At this time, I'm going to just ask Mr. Greg Bradley to come forward and, of course, make the presentation in terms of what Head Start, because he is the Head Start Director, and we want to recognize that. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bradley.
Good afternoon.
No.
Yeah, my name is Greg Bradley. I'm the Head Start and Early Head Start Director. And I will just take just a few minutes of your time. In January of 1964, President Lyndon Johnson declared the war on poverty in his State of the Union speech. Shortly after that, Sergeant Shriver took the lead in assembling a panel of experts to develop a comprehensive child development program that would help communities meet the needs of disadvantaged preschool children, which became the Head Start program. The Head Start program in Caddo Parish and Bossier Parish began on May 15, 1966, and was administered by CAP. The program involved 2,239 students and was held at 24 centers located in both Bossier and Caddo. Today, the program operates 11 Head Start centers and 2 early Head Start centers. The budget for the program is $13,987,896, and we serve 1,564 Head Start children. We serve 80 early Head Start children and 4 pregnant moms. The program employs a staff of 352 employees. Some of our employees are here today, as well as some of our parents. Over the 50-plus years of operation, the Head Start program has assisted tens of thousands of preschool children to become kindergarten ready and to become successful in life. A significant number of our students that apply for the Magnet School program in Caddo Parish are accepted. Additionally, Head Start has been instrumental in supporting parents through job opportunities within the Head Start and Early Head Start program. Our Head Start program provides high-quality early education and child development services for children with disabilities, which promotes the children's cognitive, social, and emotional growth for later success in school. Parents have access to our Parenting Center all year round, and the Parent Center offers cooking classes, GED classes, and other activities to engage parents and their families. You know, I'm forgetting how old I am. I'm going to need to put these on. Expectant mothers are served through home visits by an early Head Start program. And we do this, we have a school nurse, and we try to meet their needs. We have a health content area that ensures that each child's medical and dental requirements are met and that children with health concerns receive individual health plans. The program focuses on a wellness approach to mental health with strong emphasis on reducing risk and assisting Head Start children with developing healthy habits and appropriate social skills. All of our Head Start programs are required to have at least 10% of our enrollment dedicated to children with disabilities. Children with disabilities receive an individual education plan. All of our children receive free meals every day. We serve breakfast, lunch, and a snack at no cost to the parents. Federal Head Start programs are not mandated to provide transportation to its students. However, the Caddo Parish Commission Head Start program has elected to provide this privilege to parents who have no means of providing transportation for their children. So we bring about 200 children to school per day, and it's to their door. Some of the examples of the program's successes, and I'm not going to mention everybody here, we would be here all day, but I will just mention a few of some of the successes of the program, some of the alumni. We'll start with Cedric B. Glover, State Representative and former Shreveport Mayor and City Councilman, was a Head Start graduate, as was Kevin Cochran, the former Shreveport Fire Department Chief. Stephen Epperson, son of Commissioner Epperson, attended Brownie Moore Head Start, graduated from Captain Shreve High School, where he was a member of the National Honor Society. He graduated from LSU Baton Rouge. He's a veteran of the Iraq War and currently serves in the Louisiana National Guard and is employed with Norfolk Southern. Robert Williams III, you may have heard of him, attended the Rhodessa Head Start Center that was located in North Caddo Parish. He graduated from Caddo Magnet High School in Vivian, Louisiana. He's a graduate of Texas A&M University in College Station. After entering the NBA draft in 2018, Robert Williams III was drafted by the Boston Celtics, where he is currently their starting center. Ashley Ford attended Moortown Head Start and Mount Bethel Head Start. She's a graduate of Louisiana Tech University and is currently a member of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad. Malik Carey attended C.E. Galloway Head Start and currently serves as business manager for Southern University in Baton Rouge. Shayna Franklin attended C.E. Galloway Head Start and is currently in the nursing program at Northwestern State University. One of the unique things about Head Start, and I've been with the program for going on 17 years, and one of the things that intrigued me about Head Start when I first came in was the number of people who work at Head Start that actually got their start as parents. So I want to recognize just a few of those. Betty Jackson, and Betty, if you would stand. Betty Jackson started as a Job Training Partnership Act worker in 1981 when she came to work for Head Start. She started as a teacher aide, then later became a teacher, assistant center manager, and she now currently serves as a center manager for our Ballastine Hopkins Head Start Center. Through the program, she was able to attain an associate degree in early childhood education, a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, and a master's degree in early childhood education. In addition to that, Ms. Jackson has a son who attended Head Start. His name, Dominique McShann. He's a former Head Start student of David Raines, Faith Lutheran, and Lake Bethlehem. He's currently a realtor serving the Central Texas real estate market, specializing in the areas of Waco, Temple, and Killeen, Texas. He says he leverages 9+ years of marketing and education experience to advocate, represent, and educate clients through their real estate endeavors. Dominique graduated from C.E. Byrd Magnet High School in 2012 with honors and a Bachelor's of Arts in Mass Communications, Public Relations from Louisiana State University. He earned his Master's of Education from the University of Louisville. Prior to beginning his real estate career, he gained valuable marketing experience, sales and customer service experience at Baylor University, Apple Incorporated, Verizon Wireless, and Penske Truck Leasing. This is Ms. Jackson and her son that had experienced the Head Start experience. The next one is Janie Smith. Janie, if you would stand.
Well, let's give Ms. Jackson a round.
Janie Smith started as a volunteer in 1994 and later became employed as a teacher aide. She has worked as a teacher, an assistant center manager, a center manager, and currently serves as one of the program's education coordinators. Through the program, she was able to obtain an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree in early childhood education. Janie has a daughter, too, who went to Head Start. She's a former student of the St. Luke Head Start Center. And she is currently employed as a teacher with the program. I don't know if she's here. Okay, she's not here, but her daughter is now a teacher in the Head Start program. Rachel Jackson, would you please stand? Rachel Jackson was a parent of Head Start. She's a parent of Head Start students. She came to work for the program as a teacher aide, was promoted to teacher, then head teacher, now serves as one of the program's education coordinators. She, too, through the program, has been able to obtain her associate's, her bachelor's, and master's degree in early childhood education. Ms. Rachel Jackson. Savitra Godwin. Savitra Godwin, too, is a former Head Start parent. She started as a teacher aide, then a teacher, and she currently serves as the center manager for the Alphonse Jackson Early Head Start Center. And I will say the Alphonse Jackson Early Head Start Center is recognized as one of the best in the state. Ms. Godwin has been nominated as Early Childhood Leader of the Year through the Louisiana Department of Education. And hopefully in July, when they have their meeting, we'll have good news that she is the Leader of the Year. Through the program, she was able to obtain her associate degree, her bachelor's degree, and master's degree, also in early childhood education. One more staff member, Charlotte Harris. Charlotte, would you please stand? Charlotte is a former Head Start student. She began work as a JTPA worker in 1981. So I believe she and Ms. Jackson started together. She was later hired as a teacher aide. She's worked for the program in many different capacities. She is now currently a family service advocate, and she has been a center manager. She has 2 children that went to Head Start. Her daughter, Nanette, attended David Raines, is a veteran of the United States Army, and is currently a contract worker in Qatar. Ms. Harris' son, Jalen Harris, also attended Alphonse Jackson Early Head Start, New Elizabeth Head Start, and he's currently serving in the United States Marines. In June 2015, the Louisiana State Board of Education established a unified statewide early childhood quality rating and improvement system. Each publicly funded child care center, Head Start, and public school serving children birth to 5 receives a performance rating that includes a rating based on rigorous classroom observations. Listed below, well, I'm not going to read all of them, but the ratings go from 1 to 7. And the ratings go from needs improvement to excellent. We have 6 of our programs that are rated as highly proficient, which is the second highest rating. 7 are rated as proficient. The state average is 5.10 out of 7. That's what the state average is. And all of our Head Start programs exceed the state average with the exception of 3. So we feel that we're doing very well there. Let me say this, both of our early Head Start programs, both Alphonse Jackson and the Ark of Caddo Bossier, are listed as honor roll programs. The Caddo Parish Commission Head Start program recently began a pilot program with Waterford Reading Academy. This pilot program is currently being tried in 28 of the program's 85 classrooms. It involves 28 Head Start teachers and 485 children. Waterford.org seeks to blend the best aspects of learning, science, mental relationships, and innovative technologies to form community school and home programs that deliver excellence and equity for all learners. The program is unique in that it blends explicit instruction with engaging activities to equip teachers with the tools they need for student success, engage learners, and empowers all learners and their families. The program includes 2,000 plus explicit reading lessons, 7,000 plus activities, 180 instructional songs, and 225 hours of instruction. Our Head Start students will work each day on their tablets for 15 minutes per day with lessons that are individualized for each student. Caddo Head Start will review data from all of the participating students at the end of the pilot to determine whether or not we will incorporate their program into our curriculum this next school year.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
your time is up.
Okay.
Give them extended time.
So moved.
Move to extend.
Okay, it's been moved to extend. Motion by Commissioner Epperson and seconded by Commissioner Gage Watts.
Okay.
For how long?
5 minutes.
Okay, for 5.
All right, and the last initiative, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. The last initiative is our T-Ball League. And this is a partnership with the Caddo Parish Commission Parks and Recreation Department. During the summer of 2022, our Head Start program, Caddo Parish Commission, joined forces to bring T-ball to our Head Start students. The initial program was a great success. We were able to form teams at every center, conduct games twice weekly, and feed children after the games. Parents thoroughly enjoyed the program and actively participated as volunteers. The season was capped off with a Family Fun Day sponsored by the Parish Parks and Recreation Department. And during the first season, 152 children were involved in the program. Registration for each child was paid by the Head Start program, and we used our American Rescue Plan money to pay those registration fees. And we're getting ready for the 2023 season. At this time, I'd like for all of our parents and their children to stand, please. All of our parents. Well, this concludes our appreciation, and again, we appreciate the proclamation this morning, this afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bradley. Commissioner Epperson.
Commissioners, any commissioners have questions?
Yeah.
Want to make the presentation?
Yeah, any response from the commission? I would just like to again recognize Lawrence Guidry, who is historic in this city. Didn't get a chance to say that, but Lawrence, we owe a great debt of gratitude to you for, I know, starting the program back, I think after you left working with Buddy Roma, Governor Roma, I think. So definitely want to recognize you. Again, we thank you for all the hard work that you put into this program over the years. Thank you.
I'd just like to add, any other commissioners,
questions or comments? If not, I've been with, been watching this Caddo. It was Cap back in the day. Started off in 1965, I think, with 3 employees and $35,000. And you see what it's up to now. Very, very effective program. So at this time, we're going to turn around, we're going to take a photo op, and any of the persons would like a photo, please do so. Employees doing this. Finished? Thank you all very much.
Mr. President, if I could make one more remark, please.
I'm sorry?
If I could make one more remark.
Okay, Mr. Brad.
Yeah, I just want to chastise my Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon Johnson was a former student of mine.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to get on him because he
Bless your heart.
because he missed my presentation. Okay.
We'll make him aware of that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we can move
Okay.
on, Mr. Clerk.
That brings us to the next item on our agenda, which is to adopt the regular session minutes from your February 9th meeting. Those minutes are attached.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Jackson and seconded by Commissioner Gage Watts. You can vote now. We can just take a minute and allow them to leave the chamber.
Mr. Brad just called you out for listening to the presentation.
Commissioners Burrell, Lazarus, and Johnston. It looks like it didn't register your vote. This is for the minute. All right, thank you. That motion does carry with 10 in support, none in opposition, and 2 absent. That brings us to special resolutions where obviously we just addressed 8.2, but we still have a number of special resolutions today. Please remember that in addition to these, we do have an agenda addition that was a special resolution to welcome the Deltas this weekend as 8.6. Would you like me to start just by reading the first one? Or?
At this time, I think I want to make a motion to just englobo 2 of them because I need to get Pastor Craig Collier out. So that'll be 8.6 and 8.1. Yeah, move to englobo those 2. Okay, it's motion by the chair and seconded by Commissioner Gage Watts to englobo those 2. We can vote now.
Okay, and that motion carries with 9 in support, none in opposition, and 3 absent to englobo and adopt the special resolutions. I know there are some people here today to receive resolutions.
I do. Is Ms. Brown here? She is here? Okay, well, I'm going to take Pastor Collier. We're going to take it a little bit out of order because I know he needs to get out. Pastor Collier, if you would come up, please.
Would you like me to begin reading this
Yes,
into
if
the
you
record?
would. If you stand, please. Commissioner Jackson, will you come down with me?
Okay, this is a resolution of recognition to Pastor Craig B. Collier Sr. And it reads, whereas the Caddo Parish Commission notes with interest and satisfaction the significant events that occur within institutions who've made significant and lasting contributions to Caddo Parish and the larger community. And whereas such an institution is Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, with whom we join in celebrating and welcoming Pastor Craig B. Collier Sr. as the legendary congregation's 12th pastor. And whereas Pastor Collier arrived at Galilee Baptist Church with 22 years of experience as senior pastor at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church in Jacksonville, Arkansas, and a distinguished educational background that includes a BA in education from Hendrix College, a master's degree from Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, service as a licensed chaplain for the Baptist Medical Center, and even a chaplain endorsement from the North American Mission Board of the Southern Baptist Convention. And whereas Pastor Collier's commitment to serving the young and the old through his blessed style of preaching the gospel is supported in his personal life through his wife of 28 years, Karen, and their 3 beloved children, Kyra, Kalon, and Craig II, and is the proud OG to grandson Graylon Kyor. Collier enjoys spending time with his family in nature as an avid fisherman and deer hunter, and with the camaraderie and service with his community, as evidenced by his membership in Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission this 23rd day of February 2023, that it does hereby heartily congratulate and commend Pastor Craig Collier Sr. for the power and conviction of his delivery of God's words, and wish him continued success and prosperity as the 12th pastor of the historic Galilee Baptist Church.
Just wanted to let the commission know that we prayed for a pastor to come, and we plucked Pastor Collier from Arkansas. So he's a transplant here, and we want to make sure that he's welcome. He's succeeding Pastor Edward Jones, which many of you know, is pastor of Galilee Baptist Church for a number of years. And the church sits in Commissioner Jackson's district, in which he served them very, very well. Pastor Collier, you have some words there.
I just want to thank you all for this resolution. I look forward to working with all of you during our time here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pastor Colley, I was just going to say, I hate I missed on Sunday the installation service, but I worked very well with Commissioner Burrell and Annuary, working with those community projects, and so we'll continue to just pick up where we've gone and look forward to getting with you. I think in this new plan, I think the church, where the church physically sits, may be moving into Burrell, I think, but like I said, we've always worked very well with Galilee, particularly on the food giveaways and stuff like that, and trying to restore the baseball park, and that's a high priority for me, and I know it's a high priority for Commissioner Burrell, and we'll be working. I know we are doing Majestic Arms, that Galilee has a housing arm, so we're going through that revitalization and rehab of Majestic Arms. It's my hope and prayer that in another capacity that I serve in, we'll be able to get Galilee City, because it's approaching that 20-year mark, to get it rehabbed in this next round of funding as well. So look forward to working with you, look forward to coming over, spend some time to break some bread with you. So appreciate it, and welcome to Shreveport Caddo Parish. All right, thank you.
Next up would be Ms. Vanessa Brown, if you would come up.
I thought that was Jasmine Green.
I'm sorry.
I thought that was Jasmine Green.
As Ms. Brown makes her way, would you like me to go ahead and read the...
If you would.
Okay. This is a resolution of appreciation to Executive Director of the Salvation Army's Boys and Girls Club, Vanessa Brown. And it reads, whereas the Caddo Parish Commission acknowledges that the passage of time brings forth regrettable inevitabilities, among those being the necessity of saying goodbye to cherished friends who have chosen to walk the paths of their career to new settings. Whereas Vanessa Brown, the beloved and respected Executive Director of the Salvation Army's Boys and Girls Club of Shreveport and Caddo Parish, has now made that choice, transitioning her career of public service from Caddo Parish to Claiborne Parish, continuing her legacy of improving the lives of boys and girls with the Salvation Army that began years ago in Lincoln Parish. And whereas Ms. Brown leads a remarkable team of youth development professionals, organizes fundraisers for the Boys and Girls Club, and provides strategic direction to ensure the highest quality club experience for kids and teens in and around Caddo and Bossier Parish, while believing strongly in making today's students tomorrow's leaders. Whereas Ms. Brown holds a master's degree from Grambling State University, specializing in juvenile delinquency, and a wealth of experience working with after-school programs for 15 years, and having spent 5 years as the unit director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Louisiana and Ruston, and specializing in high-quality programs that positively affect the youth that needs it most. Whereas Ms. Brown was awarded the Maytag Dependable Leader Award in 2020 at the apex of the pandemic, and this award recognizes exceptional, dependable club officials who are committed to making a difference in the lives of youth as role models. Ms. Brown was one of just 8 national winners that year and joins a distinguished group of 121 winners from the past 20 years. And their program received a $20,000 grant, which was utilized to support a summer camp designed to improve the relationship between youth and first responders and introduce them to careers in public safety. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commissioners who have served during her tenure acknowledge the legacy of her work and affirm the commitment she has given to Caddo Parish's Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club and the parish's citizens. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission that it does hereby express its deep and sincere appreciation to Ms. Vanessa Brown for her invaluable contributions when rendered on behalf of her service, and declare February 24th, 2022 as Vanessa Brown Day in Caddo Parish, Louisiana, calling upon all citizens to note this occasion with a sense of appreciation and gratitude.
Commissioner, just like to say that we're going to definitely miss Miss Brown. She has made such a dramatic a difference over in with the Boys and Girls Club that happen to be in District 5. Yes. She will not be leaving Louisiana. She'll just be moving over toward Ruston Way, I believe, as I understand.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Again, we definitely going to miss you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, so much. I just want to thank you guys for being able to allow me to serve our kids who need us most. In my new position as the regional director, I will continue to expand our programs, so my heart will always be here in Shreveport, but I have learned a lot about how the community works, and I'm being able to go and do our great work. I want to give a special thanks to our CVO, Mr. Johnson, who has embraced and just taught me so much as we're going out to do God's work. So again, thank you guys so much, and have a great day.
We are truly going to miss Vanessa, and we appreciate the commission for all it's done for the Boys and Girls Club. We are in the process of a search right now, and I wanted to crown Tuesday when we had our first interviews, but that position is open, and so if you know someone who may have a heart for children, because you truly have to have a heart for this position and this role, because our kids need us, and so that position is open until March the 1st, so if you know anyone who may be a good fit for the Boys and Girls Club, we certainly would like to hear from you and hear from them as we move forward. And we wish her the best in her journey. And hopefully this isn't her last stop here as she goes to national positions. And we'll always remember what she did for Shreveport. So thank you for that. And thank you, Commissioner Burrell, for always visiting the club, being supportive of that, and all of you as well for your support of the club. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to say congratulations on your new opportunity, and thank you for serving the children of our community. Boys and Girls Club was where I played a lot of sports, and we got bussed over from Cedar Grove to Queensboro to swim. Went next door to the, what's that deal called with the stars and all? Observatory. Played a lot of basketball tournaments under Stephanie and Eric Anderson, and it's just been a pillar of the community for a lot of children who don't have anything to do. And I know the work that you do is not easy, but it is necessary, and it's definitely a calling. So thank you for living up to your calling, and I wish you the best in your new endeavors.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Clerk.
Okay, I believe there were some other potential people here today to receive, but I believe they may not be here unless Commissioner Gage wants his. Am I correct in not seeing them?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, thank you. So those people will be rescheduled
to March 23rd.
To March the 23rd.
Yes.
And so I believe that brings us now to communiques and committee reports.
Okay, anyone that want to speak, commissioners, get on the board. Okay, Commissioner Carlton.
I just wanted to acknowledge Travis Clark and Ms. Erica Bryant. In my short amount of time here, I've had the opportunity, I think it's like weekly, to call Mr. Clark concerning loose animals, and particularly the other day, there was an animal in our neighborhood that prevented some young people from actually catching the bus, and he immediately sent someone out there, and once we got the address of the owner, it was actually addressed as well. And I would just also like to thank Ms. Bryant as well for some follow-up on some things that had to be done in a timely manner. But I would also caution all directors to call your own telephone and listen to your answering machine. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I have a problem when I sit on the phone for a period of time and talk to nobody. So I just ask all the directors to take the time to call in yourself, unbeknown to anybody, and see what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, I just had a question for administration. I know that we look like I see new safety protocols. So how did we come about this without a vote, I guess?
Commissioner, we coordinated with the commission clerk's office, arranged just some security for today until the commission makes a decision as a more permanent arrangement that you all would like to see.
Okay, so I guess the deputies wasn't providing enough security for us? I mean, I don't know. Because I see Shreveport police officers in there, and that's the reason why I'm asking the question. Anytime we made a change, we basically talked about it and voted upon it. When we put them out there with the metal detectors, that was a vote. So I'm just trying to make sure that
Yes, sir.
we are in tune on what's going on.
Yes, I'll let the commission clerk address today's security.
Sure. So we were requested to explore a few possibilities of how to do this. So today is a one-day thing where we have the Shreveport Police Department in the back. This is to give you all a feel for what it would be like if they were to provide the security. We have not made any decisions or entered into any long-term agreements with them, but we have requested some information and are trying to coordinate that. It's my understanding that there is going to be a ordinance forthcoming that would address this from one of the commission members. So today is just a kind of a one day to let you know, give you a feel for what it would be like if they were the ones providing it.
Okay. I just know in the past, we've always voted upon it since I've been down here, and that's why I asked the question.
Okay, let me inject this. I believe the quorum of the chamber is in a committee right now that we're working on some sort of ordinance.
But that's fine, but what you don't make a change until it comes before the body. You can sit in the committee, make the recommendations, but until it comes before the body, you don't make the change.
No, I'm not qualifying that. I'm just saying that the issue of the decorum is in committee.
That's
now,
fine.
Once we resolve that, then yes, we would probably make a change. But no, this doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying about the committee. We do have an issue that we are dealing with decorum, and we are working on that.
I got that, and
Okay.
I don't have no problem with that. But I'm just
All right.
simply saying, as the committee, you make recommendations to the full body, and the full
Exactly
body
right.
will then vote upon it. And so nothing should change until the body votes upon it, or there's a recommendation in front of the body, then you change.
Okay, point well taken.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Commissioner Hefferson.
Yes, I'd like to thank the Public Works Department for their efforts. We had an unusual amount of rain, a lot of calls for flooding and ditches being clogged, so they did a very good job on doing what they could when they can. I want to thank them on that. Also, I would like to ask the Public Works to get with the Solid Waste Division and the Timberline Deer Creek area will be hosting our annual spring cleanup, and we would like the trash bins brought out on Friday, March 31st, about 3:00 p.m. Friday, March 31st, about 3:00 p.m. at the intersection of Calderwood and Greenwood Road for the annual spring cleanup of Deer Creek and Timberline Homeowners Association. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Epperson. Commissioner Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Samuel, could you come up, please? Kelvin, thank you so much for your help with our cat issue. It's a bit of a challenge, but I appreciate your work so far. And may I ask that you please continue to work that issue for us and kind of redouble our presence there for a while to give people confidence that we're actually working and trying to address that problem. I know you've made some progress, but I just want to do all we can to hopefully put that problem behind us. But I appreciate your efforts today.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I want to speak to the question that was asked or raised, and I'll be very transparent. I asked for the Shreveport Police Department to be here because they are the jurisdiction. If something happens here, they are responsible for investigating and follow up on it. And that way we don't have to go through the protocols of going through another agency and another agency getting it to them. And so, yes, I requested that they be asked to come down. Nothing has changed because we didn't vote for the sheriff's deputies to be sitting in here last week. So nothing has changed. There is no protocol. And that's what we have to understand is there is no protocol. What we have been told is that there was an issue with the deputies being inside when they're supposed to be outside. And so the request was asked, the chief of police offered to send police officers, security, to help with our meetings. But what we can't do is have a scenario where the commissioners are having to secure their own facility, because that doesn't work. And so, yes, I asked the clerk and I asked the administration to reach out and follow up on the request from Chief Smith to provide security at our meetings, and they did that. So nobody voted on or asked or anything for the sheriff's deputies to be here. I think what they realize is there is a security concern. Obviously, there's a security concern. And so they are doing what is in accordance with them until, as you rightfully pointed out, until we come up with what that formal security policy is. But right now, there is none. So there is nothing to change because we don't have anything set in stone.
Well, you finished?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, well, it's still my hope that once we address the issue of the commission, that we will work with the administration to see what would serve us best.
Right, and that's what we did.
We can deal with that issue at that time. But to go along with what Mr. Johnson is saying, or Commissioner Johnson is saying, that normally these issues do come before us, and but because we have a temporary situation and we are working on it right now, we should be able to get that resolved.
Right.
Okay. Commissioner Epperson.
Yes, sir. Second time. I want to, our Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Wesley, I think he's being proactive. I know on Pinchback Park, we've had some issues on the weekend. Coming to the end of the year where high school kids are going to have parties and things of that nature. So I'm glad that he's being proactive in monitoring, especially Pinchback Park, because I've gotten complaints from the neighbors that live in the surrounding areas about some things that's going on unsupervised in those parks during the weekend. So I would hope that he will continue to do so we can be proactive and make sure there aren't any issues relative to negative situations in our parks coming into this graduation season. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out. Commissioner Epperson, with all the things that's been going on around here, we definitely need to be on top of things going into the summer, or to the spring and the summer. Commissioner Johnson, second time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. There is a protocol for the chamber. The Caddo Sheriff Department is the security that's over here. The times in which I've put things on the agenda dealing with guns, and we had a chamber full, we basically had extra deputies that came inside, sat down, and made sure that the quorum was good. When there was the time with the mask, we had deputies inside. They came in and they got people out that didn't want to wear masks when we hit the mask protocol. So there are protocols for law enforcement to be in here. And that's the reason why they're sitting out there at the table, because we voted upon them to be out there at the table to do the metal detectors, to wave them ones. So there is a protocol. Second point I have is, can you come up? I want to talk to you about the situation in Lakeview. The Strauss on, I think it's Villa.
Yes, at the end of Villa.
Road.
Yes, sir, Randy
Right.
Strauss.
So the last thing that Mr. Strauss told me was that they're not in the parish, that somebody told them that they were not in the parish, that the parish road in and that wasn't where they at.
That's correct.
Not in the parish.
Where the-
So
where-
how can they not be in the parish and they in Caddo Parish?
I believe he just misspoke. He's obviously he's in the parish.
Exactly.
The roadway does stop prior to where his neighbor is clogging up the drain, and there is not a drainage easement that runs all the way through his property, through his neighbor's property, and then back to the property the next to him. That's how the natural drain flows, and his neighbor is blocking that drainage. Like I expressed to Randy Schaust himself, is that that is a state law prohibiting of a natural drain, of blocking of a natural drain, and that he would have, it's not a criminal suit, it's a civil suit that he would have to take against his neighbors if it's causing any damage on his property, because it is private property to private property.
But he was also told too that if the road was at a lower elevation and the plugging was affecting the road, then y'all would take matters into hand.
I can't speak on that. I didn't tell him that. Sure, I can't speak on that. I don't know.
And I thought that was bad, because if it's flooding into his yard, which is private property, but it's done at the right of way.
Sure.
So if it's backing up at the right of way, going back into his yard,
Yes,
it's
sir.
still.
It's not blocking. It's backing up over on private property beyond the right of way. It's from our right of way. It goes through his property to her property before they even come back to the parish right of way. That's why it's not an issue for parish. It's a private owner to private owner.
Okay, so the other one that's in the yard is also one, but that's one
correct.
that's on private property.
Yes, sir.
All right. So y'all deemed it in the front to be private property,
It's private property. Yes, sir.
even though it goes by the right of way.
It comes from the right of way into Randy Schaus's property, into, and I forget the lady's name, onto their property, and then back to the other property. So the drainage servitude is there. The way that the water actually flows at the end of Villa should run two ways. The private property in the house very at the end of Villa itself, it did some of its own problems by filling in some of its yard. It should have gone one side of the house, and the other side of Villa where Randy's driveway goes back, where we stop at, and then the gate to the other ladies, she's blocking it up because it should go through Mr. Schaus into her property, underneath her driveway, back into the house property to the lake. That's the way the natural drain flows. And she's blocking it off at the driveway. And then the property owner who has this, which I believe is maybe Mr. Schaus's son or something, he's blocking it up again on the back side of there to keep it into the ladies' property over there. So there's a lot going on out there. Unfortunately, all of it is on private property, and we don't have I can't go on there and tell them that they're doing anything. It's a state civil law blocking natural drainage.
Okay.
It's a lot, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. Every time it rains, I get a call.
I know. We get the same call too. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That it? Thank you.
That's it.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we would like to move on. I see Commissioner Jackson is on.
Yes.
It's not addressing the
Well,
security.
no, it's public comment. We in the communicate, so.
Well, I understand that, but I don't want it to be a back
I
and
got
forth.
you, but everybody has to communicate.
Okay, Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, I want to be clear. If, Mr. Clerk, if there is a policy that address security inside this chamber, please forward it to myself and everybody else up here. Because if there was one, we wouldn't be considering one. But there is no policy that talks about a permanent security issue in this meeting when we're meeting, before, during, and after. And what we should not allow ourselves to do is be a part of something that's just got some gentleman's agreement when there's more than 20 people down here on a hot button issue. Then the administrator goes and asks the sheriff, will he have the deputy sit in here? That's what we have in place, and that's not a policy. So what we are talking about is a permanent policy being written down put in place, not just on security, but on several different things. I think Commissioner Epperson identified 2 areas where there's not a policy and we're just operating. And it's just been going with the flow. But then when you have somebody who comes down here and challenges that, then it becomes an issue. Now we have to put the policy in place. So there is nothing. And if it is, if we've overlooked it, please forward it to myself and forward it to everybody else, because I hadn't seen it. I know I looked for it, but I hadn't seen it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. As I said before, we already have these issues coming before committee, and we will resolve those issues. Mr. Clerk?
Okay, that brings us to the President's report. Did you have a President's report today?
I just have a couple of things here. Queensboro Neighborhood Association, well, not Queensboro Neighborhood Association, in the Queensboro community, we will have a cleanup on the 18th of March. And I'm inviting all of you to come out and work with us. As I drive around, not only the neighborhoods are bad, the interstate is bad. I had someone to tell me on yesterday, I-220 looked like a dumping ground. So we have a bad trash situation here in Shreveport and Caddo. So, but we're going to start to try to do something about it on the 18th, especially in the Queensboro area. The second thing is the traffic zone, the school zone traffic cameras. I addressed that issue with Chief Smith. He said he doesn't have the jurisdiction over it, but it's my understanding that they are going back and redressing that issue. I've been to a couple of meetings, or had a meeting in Queensboro area, and I went there to talk about cleanup, and all they want to talk about was those traffic cameras, and they were very upset about it. So hopefully they'll go back and redress that. Those are the only 2 things that I have. Anyone else before we move on? Okay, Ms. Clerk.
Okay, that brings us to, we have no scheduled public hearings on zoning ordinances today, so we can move to public hearings on ordinances, where we do have a number of items. Would you like me to read those in total and then open a public hearing, or would you like to take them one by one?
You can just read them all.
Okay. The first item is a public hearing for ordinance number 6305 of 2023. That's an ordinance to close and abandon a portion of the drainage easement for One North Place subdivision and otherwise providing with respect thereto. That's in District 2. The next item is an ordinance amending the 2023 budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund to provide an appropriation for Charles Johnson Ministries Incorporated and otherwise provide with respect thereto. That one is listed as amended. And then the next item is a public hearing for ordinance number 6307 of 2023. That's an ordinance amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund to provide an appropriation of $20,000 for Louisiana urban gardening and otherwise provide with respect thereto. The next item is a public hearing for ordinance number 6308 of 2023. That's an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo Parish into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. The next, and that is, by the way, for Plan A1. The next item is the public hearing for ordinance number 6309 of 2023. That's an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance number 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo Parish into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. That is for the alternate plan. The next item is a public hearing for ordinance number 6310 of 2023. That's an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. That does have Plan AA is the item that was introduced as. Subsequently, there were some changes made, and those are attached, or some proposed changes that were discussed The initial set of those is listed as proposed amendment, and the secondary set that you may have seen more recently is listed as AA-1. And that brings us to the end of the public hearings. So at this
Okay,
time, it would be
floor.
appropriate to open the public hearing.
Okay, the floor is now open for public comments on these ordinances that have been mentioned here. Anyone who wanted to speak for or against it can come up now. If not, the public hearing is closed. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, that brings us, of course, we have no zoning ordinances for final passage, so we'll move forward to the ordinances for final passage, and these are those items that just had an opportunity for public hearing. And these start with ordinance number 6305 of 2023, an ordinance to close and abandon a portion of the drainage easement for One North Place subdivision and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Jackson and a second by Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Jackson?
I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson, by chance?
District
Okay.
2, that's
We
fine.
can- Okay, we can vote.
All right, that motion carries with 11 in support, none in opposition. That brings us to the next item, which is ordinance number 6306 of 2023. That's an ordinance amending the 2023 budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund to provide an appropriation for Charles Johnson Ministries Incorporated and otherwise provide with respect thereto. That is, of course, as amended, which I believe carries over just the amount unspent from last year.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Jackson and second by Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Jackson?
Yeah, I thought I was going to make an amendment today, but I changed my mind. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson?
Want to englobo and adopt the 6306 and 6307.
Okay, it's been motioned by Commissioner Johnson and seconded by Commissioner Gage Watts to englobo 6306 and 6307. Commissioner Atkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind everybody that these are 2022 dollars that are being rolled forward to 2023, so therefore I'm in support of them. Thank you.
Okay. All right. No one else? Then let's vote. Mr. Clerk?
In just 1 minute. There you go. Okay, that motion carries with 11 in support, none in opposition. Now this brings us to ordinance number 6308 of 2023, which is the first of your redistricting ordinances. This is an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance number 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo Parish into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts and otherwise providing with respect thereto. This is Plan A1, which is the initial plan that was submitted.
Okay. You gotta get a motion now.
That's on you if you want to make a motion.
Well, I'm pressing mine, I don't, well, motion by the chair, it's not coming up on your screen as I can see it. It doesn't come up on my screen. Okay, motion by Commissioner Jackson and second by Commissioner Gage Watts. We're gonna have to fix that too because I should have an opportunity to make a motion too. and it
Yes, so
doesn't
that
on my
didn't come
screen.
up on your screen. We will look at that. Thank you. You should be able to do that at any time. We'll try to correct that.
Okay. Again, motion by Commissioner Jackson and second by Commissioner Gage Watts. Commissioner Jackson.
Yeah, I'm just moving the process along. I don't intend to vote for this.
Okay. Let's vote.
Could die for a lack of second. Could have died for a lack of a motion or a second.
Okay.
Okay, that fails with 1 in support and 10 in opposition. The next item is ordinance number 6309. This is an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance number 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo Parish into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. This item is the alternate plan item.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Atkins and second by Commissioner Hopkins. Commissioner Atkins?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to remind you all that this map is the only map, to my knowledge, on the slate that actually preserves a 6-6 balance between the Republicans and Democrats on this body. I believe the 6-6 balance has been effective for the last 7.5 years that I've been on the body, and for a number of years prior to that. So for that reason, I'm supporting the alternate plan. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hopkins, you have a comment?
I think we've said all we need to say.
Let's vote, please.
All right, and that item fails on with 3 in support, 8 in opposition, and 1 absent. That brings us now to 6310, which is an ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance number 5111 of 2011 and ordinance number 5935 of 2019, reapportioning Caddo Parish into 12 commission districts, enumerating the constituent precincts respectively comprising the commission districts, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Again, this is Plan AA, and there were several potential amendments mentioned. Those are copied on your online agenda in the event that you require discussion for those. It would be appropriate to first have a motion to consider the ordinance, and then following that, a motion for an amendment of whatever sort, if that's the will of the body.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Jackson and second by Commissioner Johnson. Are there any comments? Commissioner Jackson.
Yeah, I would like to commend, you don't have to come up, Mr. Cedric Floyd, for going through all these iterations of a map. I think the map is within the margin of error. The actual term is escaping me. Within the deviation that's required, I think it reflects the balance of Caddo Parish, and so, or the makeup population of Caddo Parish, and I think it's a fair map. So, but again, I know we've gone through this for quite a while, even going past the deadline that's set by charter. But I think my hope is that once we adopt whatever we adopt, that we will do education. And I think I'll probably bring an ordinance that will require us to notify citizens of changes whose precincts have changed, to do at least 3 notifications, public notifications, for citizens whose precincts have changed or their district has changed, because I do think that that is important. And as we get to the fall elections or whatever elections these maps will be used in, I think it'll be important for folks to know what changes, if any changes, have been made. And I think we learned that lesson last year, and we don't want to see a repeat of that. So I think that education will be valuable. And thanks to all the commissioners for their input, staff, as well as the commission clerk for their support on getting these maps together. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, I also want to thank Mr. Floyd for putting together all those different maps and working with the 12 commissioners. I know sometimes it can be very stressful, but you did a good job. I also want to make sure that I think I saw one, change or something today. So did that meet the deadline that we set prior to?
I'm not sure.
Commissioners, if you all are going to make amendments from the floor, that is just basically something that you have a framework for. It's not any different than making an amendment to it from the floor.
No, but we said in the meeting, basically said that all changes had to be in by a certain date.
Well, I'll defer to the clerk then as to whether that met the deadline, because I don't recollect that you all had a deadline.
I got on the email today. Did that meet the deadline?
I'm not recalling what the deadline, the,
Huh?
Mr. President, point of order.
That was,
That was a question.
yes.
I remember at 3 hours into the last meeting in January that we discussed that we had to come with 3 different maps, and those would be the 3 that would be put out there, and that we were not going to accept any changes. So unless we drew it, and that was my understanding. Now may need to go back to the minutes. So I just would
Mr.
say,
President, that was.
or to the actual video, because the minutes doesn't say anything.
Because I question, because with the change, the last change that I saw, what's the value of it? And if I can ask that to the person who made the change, I can get an understanding and I can move on.
Okay, I'm not sure who made the change, but,
John Paul Young.
okay, Commissioner John Paul Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. Commissioner Johnson, this change is sort of a compromise. I discussed it with Commissioner Cothran, who now represents District 8. Some of these precincts were in District 8 for a long time, and a whole bunch of them had been moved to District 4, making District 4 the most populous district. And I asked to see if a couple of them could remain in District 8 instead of District 4. They were on the border, and Mr. Floyd said that they didn't affect the demographics in any way, and that it seemed that it was just a sort of a preference that fit into the map, and Mr. Cothran agreed, so that's why I put it on here as a possible amendment.
All right. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't. Just wanted to make sure that the demographics didn't change.
No, they're very uniform neighborhoods, pretty much Republican, moving from, well, actually, some of them were, 4 of them were going to be moved into District 4 from District 8, and now only 2.
Commissioner Carl?
Yes, can we get Mr. Floyd maybe to, I heard what John Paul said, and, that's not a problem. But the thing is, can we get Mr. Floyd to maybe address this as well for the entire body?
Mr. Floyd, if you will.
Good evening. Yes, as Commissioner Young said, Cedric Floyd, president of Data Center LLC, with my wife Rose. The change does not affect the demographics. And it was, we were able to do it. And the way I see it, the train has not left the station, so you do have time to do it, and it'll be part of the plan. You have all the stats, you have the map, got the map with the change, and it should be, as we working to perfect this for 10 years, I think you should strongly consider doing it because it's not affecting the demographics. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. It appears that there was an agreement between Mr. Carlton and Commissioner Young. I was here when you all were discussing it. It doesn't seem to be a problem. So unless there is a problem, then we can move forward. Okay, Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, this time I'll make a motion to amend my motion to add whatever this amendment is.
It seemed like there was, it seemed like it was stated earlier that we needed to pass the original motion and then go back to the amendments and then.
No, it just needs to be a motion on the floor.
Okay.
So as long as there's a motion on the floor to adopt 63, or to consider ordinance number 6310, then it's appropriate if another motion is made to amend that in whatever way y'all.
Okay. I'm just doing an amendment. I'm not doing an adoption. I'm just making an amendment.
But we didn't amend that.
So then once the item is either amended or not amended upon that vote, and then it would go back to the vote of whether that is adopted or not adopted, as amended. Does that make sense?
We didn't amend that though.
Right. No, I'm just walking through the process. I thought that was the question.
Mr. Floyd, come up again, please.
Yes. Thank you again. The basis of the plan is Plan AA, and you move in precinct 16 and 48 to District 4. I mean, moves precinct 16 and 48 to District 4 from District 8 and moving Precinct 11 to District 8 from District 4. And that's the change from AA. And that was sent out, yeah, those precincts.
Okay, I think.
It's on the foundation of AA, and these are the changes there to Plan AA.
I think we understand the changes. It's been moved by Commissioner Jackson and seconded by Commissioner Young that would be amended in, if I'm stating that correctly. We can vote? Commissioner
No, you
Commissioner
got,
Jones.
the attorney needs to say something.
I'm sorry?
I just wanted to clarify, and I'll defer to Mr. Floyd, because you have several different things listed on the agenda as amendments. So it is the base ordinance with the 2023 proposed amendment for precinct changes, not any of the other things that are on the agenda as possible amendments. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So what is the procedure right now, Attorney? Just go ahead.
Yes, to vote on that amendment, to swap those precincts.
Oh, well, that's what we were doing.
Yes, and it'll form Plan AA-1, and that encompasses all the changes to Plan AA. Plan AA-1 encompasses everything.
Okay.
That you were sent, and Jeff has it, and we have a map to it, if anybody wants to see.
Commissioner Jones?
I just want to make sure that what we're doing is in line with the public having the notice they need to have, because if we're changing precincts, doesn't that change the map? May not have changed the boundary lines, but it changes. Am I missing something?
It does change the map, but the map changes are also listed on your agenda.
And for clarity, in case y'all are trying to review these right now, so they were uploaded in sections, but then it looks like, at least on your agenda, if it's like mine, it looks like the computer program grouped them differently. So they are, again, AA is the initial plan, and that is the one that was introduced initially. Then there were some initial changes after that that were made that first week of February. Those are listed as Plan AA proposed amendment. And then the more recent changes that came about in the last couple of days are listed as AA-1. So you do have all three. There are 3 different sets of plans that are attached to that agenda. So just want to make sure y'all.
And the motion that was made did include those amendments, is that correct?
My understanding is that the motion that was made was to adopt the ordinance, and then a motion was made to amend it to AA-1.
Okay, that's the way I understand it. Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're good. All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Johnson. Thank you. All right, that motion carries with 9 in support, 2 in opposition, and 1 absent. So now we have before you ordinance number 6310 as amended to the AA-1 plan.
Okay.
I'll make the motion whenever the board.
The vote is not clear yet.
No.
The board needs to be cleared.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It looks like it's taking a moment for that board to clear.
Okay, now get on the board, please. Make a motion.
Can't get on there, okay? Save it.
Looks like we're having a lapse here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that Linda is the computer program has reverted a little bit, so she's just trying to get it caught up to make sure that we have an accurate reflection of your
Okay,
next
it
vote.
appears that we have a motion, if this is correct, by Commissioner Jackson and seconded by Commissioner Johnson.
To move to approve as amended.
Okay, it's been a motion to approve as amended. Okay, you can vote.
Okay, and that motion carries with 8 in support, 3 in opposition, and 1 member absent. That brings us now to, we have no zoning ordinances for introduction by title today. We do have some ordinances for introduction by title. There are 2 items. The first is the introduction of ordinance number 6312 of 2023, an ordinance amending the 2022 budget to amend the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the Head Start Fund and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. And that is from the Finance Department. The next item is 16.2, introduction of ordinance number 6313 of 2023, an ordinance of the Caddo Parish, Louisiana, recognizing the final form and execution of the bond purchase agreement in connection with the issuance and sale of its general obligation bond series 2023 and providing other matters in connection thereto. Also from Finance. That brings us now to work session minutes. Attached, you do have minutes from the February 21st work session.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson and second by Commissioner Gage Watts. We can vote. Oh, Commissioner Johnson, there's any comment? Okay. Let's vote.
And that motion carries with 10 in support, none in opposition, and 2 absent. Excuse me. That now brings us, we have no resolutions, old business, or new business to consider today. So you are now at communiques and reports.
Did we cover the special agenda edition?
That was actually adopted as part of the Englobo earlier, so just so that everybody hears that, Commissioner Johnson was asking about the agenda addition regarding the special resolution for the deltas, and that was adopted as part of the Englobo for your special resolutions. So that will be issued on your behalf.
Okay. Next, communication again.
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Let me say thank you to Parks and Recreation, Patrick Wesley, Katina, and that team for supporting the Black History Fun Run and Walk over in Cherokee Park. I think they really, really appreciated it, the snacks that were provided, so thanks for that. Travis and Kelvin, I heard the commentary from other commissioners about issues that are going on. I'm still having some issues. I'm getting complaints out of, I believe, Cherokee Park. I'll follow up with y'all about barking dogs and what's the cutoff time. And one lady says it sounds like she lives at the kennel at night. And so I told her I'd get by there one day to hopefully soon to follow up on that. But I don't know if we have to kind of, it's getting warmer and people are going to start letting their pets out a little bit longer and stuff like that. So I don't know what other, do we beef up our sort of enforcement or whatever, but if y'all could just be mindful of that. Juvenile Service Committee will be meeting on March 6th. We'll be meeting on March 6th at the juvenile facility. As you are aware, we discussed a lot of information on at our last meeting, and we are up against a deadline to try to get some things to this body to be able to ask some additional questions of our electorate. And so so it's imperative that we continue to move our conversations forward. So please put March 6th. I think we're going to try to do noon, but I think there may be some conflicts, so it may happen just afternoon, but March 6th will definitely be the date. And I believe Clay is going to host us over at the Juvenile Detention Center. So that concludes my comments, at least for today, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, Commissioner Atkins.
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Although I'm disappointed that my preferred map, or I should say several of our preferred maps did not get approved today, I am pleased that we have made a decision on these map issues. I think it's important that we move forward with this issue and give our registrar voter or time to work through all the details associated with defining our voter precincts and getting all of our maps synced up with our voter data. so that we can avoid as many mistakes as possible moving forward. We all recognize the importance of accurate voter rolls and voter information. So hopefully by us completing this decision in a timely manner, the registrar of voters can make progress and ensure that we don't have problems in future elections in the springtime or in the fall. Thank you, Mr. President.
Point of clarification.
Yes.
Yes,
It's
sir.
going to be the clerk of court and the secretary of state that does the precincts. The registrar only does early vote.
Only early voting.
Only early vote.
Well, it's important to get early voting right.
Right. But the clerk of court and the secretary of state precinct.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Epperson.
March 6th, the ad hoc committee on the crime lab will be held at 2:00 p.m. until 3:15 p.m. We've invited a number of guests, so would all committee members please be punctual, and let's get a quorum as soon as possible where we can go ahead and take care of our business. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Gage Watts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too am elated that we were able to pass this redistricting map. And I wanted to also remind administration the request for the precinct numbers, those signs to be located at each precinct on voting day. Know that I asked for them in the last election, so we have enough time to work on them to make sure that they're there. Thank you.
Commissioner Carlton.
Yes, I would just like to announce to any constituents in District 8, I would like you to have my local cell number, which is area code 318-402-2793, and I would like any leader of a neighborhood association to please give me a call or a text so we can sit down and talk about some things going forward. Thank you.
All right, it appears that that's everyone to speak at this time. Again, I want to commend Mr. Floyd and his wife on the work that they've done. I know this is the third time me going through this, and it never gets any easier. So again, we appreciate your work.
I heard he hadn't been paid yet.
I'm sorry?
I heard he hadn't been paid yet.
Job just
Okay.
finished.
Mr. Clerk?
Okay, that brings us to citizens' comments, late arrivals. We have received at least one request for a citizen's comment that has been presented to the president. If there are other requests, they can be submitted in the box to my left here.
Okay, it appears that we have Ms. Carly Bunton, if you would, come up, my neighbor. Ms. Bunton, if you would, state your name for the record.
My name is Carla Bunn. Mr. Burrell, I'm a neighbor of yours there at 2524 Lakeway Drive. I have a question to the commission here. I have a nonprofit, which you guys all know about, which is Compassion for Lives. I'm on here every year. And spoke with Ms. Bryant this year in reference to a surplus that we had that we almost said, take it away because it's a surplus sitting there. We then asked her, could we keep the surplus because of the year, COVID-19, so she allowed us to roll it over. I would like to know why is it that no one from Caddo Commission ever comes to Compassion for Life to see what we do. I am busting my butt here in the city for my community because I love them. Ex-offenders or not. We have GED high set, we have career readiness, we have job placement, we have transitional living housing now. Why? I know there's some disdain for me here on this panel. Why? It's okay. Do not have disdain for people I service. You can have disdain for me because I do ask questions, but do not have disdain for the people I serve. I don't care what your faces look like at this time, but I service a lot of people here in District G and in the city of Shreveport, Minden. It doesn't matter. They come from all over this city. And I am constantly denied. Mario Chavez asked me this year to apply. Again, I said I wasn't going to apply for commission anymore because of the things that we went through. I said, I don't want to apply. He said, apply anyway, Carla. And I did. And I was denied. If you want to take a look at our service that we offer, call us because it's a shame. And I know there's disdain for me because I come here and I ask lots of questions. That makes sense. My questions are not, they're not something that's out of order. So I would have asked the Caddo Commission to take a look again. I see you giving CJ Enterprises, I'm not sure, gospel, whatever that may be. You keep giving this guy dollars. What service? Right now, we have a problem that is crime. Compassion for Lives is what you call crime prevention, at pre-release and post-release. I have not seen a time. I think I had one person, Mr. Atkins came to our symposium, root causes. I think I had Mr. Mario, Mr. Paul. No one else here. Mr. Linden, you didn't come. Ms. Stormy Gates, you didn't come. Mr. Jackson, I didn't see you. We have a crime issue as well here. It was called Root Causes Symposium. We have a root cause. So I would ask the commission to put their disdain that they have against Carla Bunton and worry about their people in this community, please. Thank you, guys. You have a great day.
Ms. Bunton, we're not to address you. That's okay.
Thank you.
I'll just make this comment. I'm not totally familiar with your program, but let me know, and I will be.
Mr. Burrell, I'm a neighbor of yours for 17 years.
I know that, but you didn't. But we haven't talked about your.
I had a
program.
root cause symposium on it. Was the pre-release was all over the city on the television. We did a live pre-release. It was all over the television. Mr. Atkins, he came. Mr. Stephon Jones came. We had some other. Mario Chavez came. Your panel here. Some of those people showed up. We were on television. And it's the disdain you have for me is why you come to none of our events. And it's okay. It's because I'm saying what I'm saying right now. And I'm not going to stop saying it. You're going to hear me say it every year, maybe every other commissioner meeting. It's time is to stop now. I service over 1,000 people a year. And I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking for your support. You've denied me finances, so support what we do. We're paying now for GED high sets out of our pockets for folks to test because we love them so much. And we will not stop. So you can't run us out. So thank you so much, Mr. Burrell. I live at 2524 Lakeway Drive for 17 years. My son grew up there, and so did I. Have a great day. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Yeah, let's do that. But in the meantime, I will be getting with Ms. Bunton. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the program. Okay, thank you.
Wait.